All right, guys, here's Phil and James here. We're actually here on day number 12. The reason being, we actually shot this video yesterday, but for whatever reason, the volume didn't record. So we're shooting it again. So it's technically Tuesday, it's day 12, but this is really supposed to be day 11's video. If you remember where we left off, it was actually Friday. Phil didn't work on Friday, he doesn't work. And we just shot the video last time just to kind of let you know where we were at. At that particular time, I was really excited because I submitted my application for the business to hear back from the funding company, and I was just waiting to hear back to see if that was going to happen and everything was approved or what. So I really didn't know until I came in on Monday, and I was really excited because on Monday I got the deal. But here's what happened. This was an interesting thing. I actually got this back. This is just a copy of the actual agreement and so forth, and I'll read this over to you. If you remember, if you've been following our series here, I believe originally the loan amount that I talked to the business owner about was $21,000, which was a great amount, and I was excited about that. So you imagine my surprise in a really positive way when I got this back, and they're saying that they actually got them approved for $30,000. Which is exciting for me because I made more money. Apparently what happened, and just so you understand the process, which I was completely not a part of, once it gets approved and once it goes through the underwriting, they contact the business owner directly. They do an interview to make sure everything's legit, to talk about things. So what wound up happening during that process, they were speaking to the business owner, and they determined that he actually would qualify for more money. And he agreed, and he went forward with it, and everything went without me even knowing anything about it. They got the deal done. $30,000 is the loan amount. So I'm just going to read this over to you. I'm not going to show it on camera because there's a lot of sensitive information here, and I just want to protect them. So here's the amount is the dollar amount. The amount for being sold is $30,000. The amount sold, which is the dollar value of the future receivables being sold against, is $41,670. The purchase percentage, and that's the percentage of future receivables the merchant agrees to remit to the purchaser each day, and this is a percentage, is 12.25%. So the alternative daily amount, which is the dollar amount to be debited in certain circumstances as described below in the merchant's bank account, from the merchant's bank account each business day, is $377.84. So that's the amount of the total amount which is sold, which is $41,670. So that's the agreement here. And there's a lot of paperwork.
So let's just go over this. So just so people understand, this isn't an actual loan.
Right.
These are high interest. We call it a high interest loan, but what's really happening is the lender is buying future receivables of the company. So they look at the company and they see how healthy it is. And that's why they go through this interview process at the end, just to make sure the business owner knows what he's getting involved in. Plus, on top of that, they go through their bank account. So the lender has to log into the bank account and see everything. Look for negative days, their average daily balance, stuff like that, to make sure that everything lines up to what the actual business owner originally told them and filled out an application, and their bank statements, stop fraud and all that. So the loan amount, the advance amount is what they really call it. They're advancing them $30,000. They're going to pay back $41,670. So that's $11,670 in technically interest. 12.25% is the number where they come out with the $377.84 per day. So it's 12% of the $41,000. All right. So now what happens is that $377.84 they pay back daily. It's an ACH, so the money automatically gets withdrawn every day, Monday through Friday, no weekends, no holidays. So that's how this specific deal gets done. But this isn't the only type of deal that you can do in this program. You're a business loan broker. This is just one type of loan or one type of advance that you do. It's called a merchant cash advance. So this is what this is. We also have ones with high credit. If someone has a high credit score, you can get them a line of credit through a different lender. There's personal loan. There's a lot of different types of loans you can technically do. I have one company that provides 10 different loans, from 401k financing, PO financing, it's just all sorts of stuff, right? There's a lot of, I just actually talked to Ed, the owner of that company today. He just called me about something else. But they're doing a lot of different things. So there's so much you can do. So I just want to explain that this is just one type of deal that you can do. This is the highest profit type of advance you're going to do. So most profit. So James made 10% of that $30,000, so he made $3,000. So I'll let him finish it, but I just want to explain it all in a little bit more detail so you truly understand what's going on.
And what's cool about that, as Phil explained, I did not speak to the business owner about all that with the underwriting and with the loan amount. What they did all of that, getting all that information from them during the interview, and that's what they qualified for more money. And essentially, this is just the agreement. They have the terms and conditions, and then I think Phil mentioned it's directly debited from their account. So they have a page for the authorization, for the ACH authorization, and then here's the application, and then the ACH, which is all of the banking information. So let's summarize this, because this is why I'm so excited. As Phil mentioned, I get 10% of this loan amount, which I'm surprised because originally I thought it was going to be $21,000. It's $30,000. So I made $3,000 on this deal. So I want to just summarize where we were at, because if you were following the series, or even if you weren't, it's okay. But let's stop where I was, where I submitted this and what I had been spending. And even though Phil doesn't recommend jumping right into paid marketing, I decided to do that. And I learned how to do that. But what we did, I was able to spend $770. At that particular time, I was able to secure 5 credit repair deals at $100 each. So that's $500. This now is $3,000. So we have $3,500. So we subtract $3,500 from my spend, and let's just round it up for easier math, for $800. So $3,500 minus $800, what's that? That's $2,700. I made $2,700 in, I'm calling it 10 days, because I found out on the 11th day, which was yesterday, but I submitted this, and this was all happening on the 10th day. I had the weekend. I came in Monday, which is technically yesterday because the video crapped out on the volume, and I made that money in 10 days. So let's summarize. I set up a business. In 10 days, I had activity. I already made $500 on some deals. I got my first loan submitted and it got approved, and I got it. I made money on it. I have a few other deals going on that we haven't talked about. Some of them are smaller, which, listen, I'll take it. I have one going on right now that's about $5,000. So I'm just waiting to hear back on that. But there's all certain sorts of things going on. As Phil mentioned, there's so many different segments that you could target. This is an MCA, Merchant Cash Advance. There's other things that he had mentioned. So the bottom line is, when you work these people and when you have these opportunities, they are looking for the financing. It's not up to them to know how to get it. You know how to get it. You're the business loan broker, so you're just going to say whatever their situation is, you got it covered. You just need to know what they need, and you'll take care of it from there, because we have so many different lenders that we work with that we're able to get it. I've just been so elated by all of this, and I've been actually talking to a lot of people. One of the things I was talking to Phil about is, since I'm so excited now, it's like, listen, I'm still doing the Facebook ads, I'm doing that, but then I'm also thinking, listen, one of the things that I know Phil shared with me was, if you speak to people and maybe other business owners or people that you know, sometimes those deals are bigger and they're actually close faster and are a little more well done. So I've been talking to people I do business with. For example, the person who I do my insurance with, I reached out to him. I'm sure he deals with business owners. He's one himself. I said, listen, this is what I'm doing now. If anybody you know needs a business loan, let me know. I'll reciprocate, obviously. If somebody needs insurance, I'll do that for you. So I just started talking to people. I was at a family event this weekend, so I started sharing that with them. I actually reached out to a banker that I knew, because he wants to have lunch this week, just because you never know who they know. And a lot of banking people, the banks don't do this financing, so they might have a resource that they could turn me on to. So I'm meeting a friend for lunch this week to talk to him about that. There's so many ways that you could get yourself out there that don't cost money. I mean, okay, maybe a lunch, so maybe that's a $15 lunch. But listen, if you can make money, $15 lunch, I'll do that all day long. But it's a good thing. You got to eat too. So it's just it's just a good way of doing things. I've been really excited about this, and this is good stuff. So,
I'm wondering where you go for a $15 lunch.
I don't know. Yeah, McDonald's.
We go to Jersey Mike's Subs, and it's still $25.
That's true. What am I thinking?
But he's right. You know, you have paid marketing. You have word of mouth marketing. You have your local network. You can join groups like Latip, etc. One other thing I just want him to explain, because he explained this like a week ago in one of the other videos, but explain to them the difference between how much money, basically how much time and effort you spent to get this going in the 10, 11 days, and the time and money that you spent in your last business.
That's great. I always forget about that because I'm so excited and working on this. Well, as you may know, I used to own a business where I actually had to, if you're a business owner or if you know business owners, one of the things is some things take longer to generate whatever it is, a sale and so forth. And I owned a franchise, so I had the support and so forth, and they were good with that. But the thing about it was how much effort and time I was dedicating to working in the business but not on my business, and really not focusing on what counts the most, and that's making money. I had to be involved with employee issues, production issues. I had to be involved with expenses. Anything went wrong, it was all up to me. Any decision I had to make, if it was an employee decision, I had to speak directly with customers and deal with their issues and customer service. There were a lot of different things that I was always being pulled in different directions, so I really couldn't focus my time and effort on the thing that mattered most, and that's making money. So here, when I first started my other business, it literally took between the time of training, it was a 2-week training program at the corporate office, then they had what they call a field rep to put you and get you started setting up your operation, the build out and getting everything done. So that took a month in of itself, and I didn't make any money at that point. So here you're investing tens of thousands of dollars, and a month in, you still don't have any sales going on. So then finally, when you start getting out there to market your business and you start spending money to make money, you're in the hole already because you spent about 50, 70 grand to get started. Now you're a month in and you're in business, but you haven't made any money yet, but you still have to pay all your expenses. And then maybe after 6 weeks, you start getting money in, but again, you're paying everything. So you're still in the hole. Here, 10 days, I was already up and running within the first 3 days, really. But in 10 days, I already made a profit. I made a sale, made a profit. I have other loans pending, so who knows what that will bring. But just how quickly you could just ramp up and focus, because what you're focusing on is making money. You're focusing on getting these deals done. Everything else you don't have to deal with. You're in your own business, you have the support, you follow the program, and you're just able to concentrate your effort and your time to what matters most, making money. So I just made $2,700. How many times do I want to do that? How often do I want to work on that? And I gotta be honest with you, how hard was it really? If you really add up the hours of time that I spent following up with people, calling them, getting their statements and so forth, and packaging it and then sending it off to the lender, it really wasn't a lot of time at all. So when you talk about making money, talk about the focus and the time that it takes you to make whatever you're making. If you're working a job and you want to do this on the side, think about how much time and effort you put into that job, getting to work, going there, spending the day, listening to your boss, dealing with coworkers, other employees if you manage people. Think about all of that. If you're a business owner already, think about all the things you deal with as a business owner and what your profit margin is to really develop that. Now, take this business and you can work at it as hard as you want. You can work at it, I know Phil's a big proponent of saying, build it around your lifestyle, because this is one of those businesses that you really can focus on doing things during the day and still make money. And those are the things that I really enjoy about this. I'm so excited. I'm happy I got my first deal going. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys so that you guys could hopefully experience this and live through my success. And I'm just very excited about seeing what comes next. But the time and effort that you put into this is amazing in terms of the rewards that come out of it. So that's really what I can relate to.
And if you watch James' first video and you following along and now look at him, you can see just how excited he is. Where now he's like, let's do more videos.
Let's do. I'm pumped up.
But you can see the excitement because, hey, anybody would be excited if they could build a business from scratch. I mean, I was telling him when I was doing this 3 years ago, this is how I started, right? You can't compare yourself to me just because I'm just on a different level these days. I mean, there's plenty of people that, trust me, make way more money than I do and are much bigger lead generators than I am. But I spend over now $8,500 a day. I keep ramping it up, but $8,500 a day I spend in marketing. So You can't compare it to me, but you want to compare yourself to James, because this is me 3 years ago. Except I wasn't making videos about it. I was just figuring it out on my own, and I didn't have anyone to teach me anything. So I just figured it all out by myself.
Right.
I did my first deal. I don't remember the size of the actual first one. I just remember my first month, I made like $30,000.
Wow.
So it was about 15 deals or so, and $2,000 a piece is what you should average. So we made $3,000, which is great, but probably going to average around $2,000 a piece. Doing the marketing I'm going to teach you. Again, you do referrals, talk to people, get involved with bankers, whatever. Those numbers are definitely going to increase. But at the end of the day, he went from zero to making a couple of $1,000s in 10, 11 days. Business is off the ground. Now he's moving forward, and you can't beat it. So I understand where people need to start, which is why I'm doing the training. And you can see somebody now, getting their feet wet and getting off the ground, and all you have to do is just try it, start it. And as long as you don't quit, as long as you put your head down and just say, there's no reason, because it doesn't cost you anything to stay in the business. You don't have to do paid marketing. So once you're in, you're in. If it takes you a month or 10 months or 20 months, it doesn't really matter, right? So as long as you're willing to do the work, you're just going to make money, and that's it. So, all good?
That's great. Yeah.
All right. And we're going to head and get some lunch and eat, because I like to eat. All right.
All good.